This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Hey Keegan, what was it like to be named the Eighth Sun Player of the Week first time in your career?
Uh, yeah, I mean it was cool. Didn't really, I don't know. Somebody came up to me and just said congrats, and I didn't really know what they were saying, so it was a surprise. But yeah, it was an honor.
So you scored a career high 21 last week on Thursday. The next game out came out with a career high 7 assists. Was that your goal to prove you can do it off the with the pass too, not just by scoring?
Nah, not really. I mean, in that game, I think they played zone, and we had a bunch of guys shooting really well. Darius shot really well. Cuff shot really well, and so, I mean, I think it was those guys making shots that really led to that. But yeah, they played zone, so it's easy on this team with just the guards that we have and the bigs that are able to finish just to pick apart a zone. So
Emily?
Oh, sorry, I didn't lower my hand from.
Oh, you're good. You're
Hi,
good.
Keegan. Congrats.
We'll go Nick.
Hey, Keegan. Something I heard Bridget say for the women's team last week was the first couple games in the new arena, it didn't quite feel like home yet. It felt like they were in shoot around in a visiting gym. How about you guys? First couple games in, I mean, obviously you played pretty well there. It must feel like home to you, but what's the feel like in the new arena? Have you guys kind of settled in yet?
yeah, I mean, I think it feels like home for our team, just because we kind of are a new team. So it's kind of fitting to be able to just open up the arena. I think just with so many new guys and so many new faces and being pretty young, I think it's been great for us to kind of just move out of the Vines and move into Liberty Arena and kind of make that our home for this year. So
Dame?
Hey Keegan, this time last year you were relegated to watching from the stands. And what's this journey been like for you from wanting to transfer and go somewhere where you could get some playing time to sticking around, wondering whether you should come back or not, and then finally deciding you wanted to come back?
yeah, I mean, I think it's just been like rewarding throughout the whole process. Just starting in the spring, how like accepting and positive like the responses from the guys were when I decided to come back. Like part of that was I don't know if I'm gonna rub people the wrong way or whatever, but everybody was so like accepting, and so that was like the first part. And then summer workouts, just getting close with the new guys and stuff, all the way until preseason, just with no scrimmages or anything, just battling each other. It's just all been a part of like a rewarding process, and now getting to play is just been even better, and I think we're growing just together as a family. So
Jermaine? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dame.
As a follow up, as someone in college and you're trying to balance what's best for you, what went into that thought process last year of electing to wanting to go somewhere else or thinking about going somewhere else? Go through your mind take us through your mind of what you were thinking at the time, and how did that evolve into you wanting to come back and be a part of this program?
yeah, I think when you're not getting what you want or what you think you deserve, a lot of times you think like the grass is greener somewhere else. I think that whole year of just not playing and like having that kind of taken when I've been playing every year for my whole life, it's just easy to see how much Coach McKay and his staff care for us and are here for us as more than just basketball players. And my thought process was just to be able to play for a staff like that. No matter what happens, it's worth it. So.
Jermaine?
Keegan, first of all, I just want to thank you for giving us time today, and I hope you're doing well this morning. And congratulations on your A-Sun honor. I got to ask you, I'd asked Coach McKay and Cuff this early. I asked you this. With all the stuff going on with COVID, and you guys are 6 games into the season, how do you feel you guys are handling all the stuff going around? Due to the fact that there are other teams that are losing games, postponing games, and having situations. How do you feel you guys are handling it? How are you guys handling it?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. I think just taking it one day at a time is just kind of how we're handling it. Everybody's got to deal with the same stuff, early morning testing and the potential to not have games and stuff. So the games that we do get to play and the practices we do get to have, just taking it day by day has just kind of been good for us and what we need to continue to do.
John?
Keegan, I believe your sister played basketball at Missouri. Is this game coming up this week, tomorrow, going to be a little bit special for you? And have you been to a game there before?
Yeah, she did play there for 5 years. So I'm pretty familiar with Mizzou, just going to her games and watching her all the time. And she actually still lives in Columbia, so yeah, it'll be cool to. She's all grown up now, so she's married and has a kid, so it's a little bit different, but yeah, it'll be cool to just play there and after watching her go through it. So.
M?
Keegan, how afraid were you to tell Coach McKay your initial decision that you were leaving?
I don't know that I was afraid. It was kind of a time crunch because I knew I had to make a decision before the Radford game, the first game of last season, just to be able to save that year of eligibility. So it was more of like a time crunch and like a decision I had to make pretty quick. So yeah, I mean, obviously it was a tough. I didn't want to have to do it, but yeah.
And then when you had the change of heart, how many did you immediately call Coach McKay, or is it something that you slept on a couple days when you said, I am going to come back, and then you slept on it a couple days, or did you immediately just call Coach and ask to come back?
Actually, one of our GAs, Zach Farquhar, he had been working me out all year, and I had just gotten back from spring break, and COVID had just hit. Everything was shut down, and I was working out with Zach, and I just kind of I was like, I have this feeling, and all he said, he just kind of looked at me, he's like, really? Because he had known my situation, we lived together, so he had known my situation. He was kind of just like, if that's the case, I would talk to Coach McKay as soon as possible. So I think that was a Sunday, and I think I talked to Coach on Monday. So.
Cool. Thank you.
Go ahead, Alan.
Keegan, I was talking to Todd Wetmore a minute. Sorry if I missed this question. Coach mentioned that you were set to go to Wright State. Were there any other schools you looked at potentially?
Yeah, there was a couple more schools. It really came down to Wright State and Western Carolina, and Wright State being close to home, and Indiana Wesleyan. Wright State being close to home, that's kind of where I landed, and then. Yeah.
Okay. Your sister Kayla played at Mizzou. Have you had any conversations with her about this game coming up this week?
Yeah, I was just talked to her this morning. She still lives in Columbia, and then actually my youngest sister, who ran track at Liberty, she goes to school at Mizzou now too, grad school. So got some family out there, so it's gonna be.
All right. Have fun on the trip. Thank you.
Dame?
Yeah, Keegan, we've seen this offense evolve this year, and no longer are you the guy who's standing in the corner waiting for the pass. You're now off the dribble. You're facilitating, and it seems like your game has grown. And Coach McKay was saying after the St. Francis game that your game improved last year, but we didn't get to see it because you weren't on the court. How much has your game improved, and how much work did you put into being a guy who could come in and help replicate or help make make sure that there was no drop off from the graduation of the four that were so big, such a big part of the offense last year?
Yeah, I think a big part of last year was not playing and just gaining perspective and honestly the mental side. I think I grew a lot on the court, but a lot off the court as well, which has helped me. I don't think it's. I know you said replicate, but I don't think it's possible to do the same stuff that Scotty and Caleb and Maya, like and Georgie, those guys brought to the table were just incredible for 4 years. I think we're a different team now this year, so the guys we have are just super for each other, and it makes offense look good when everybody's unselfish. So,
Nick, take the last one.
Hey, Keegan, you're probably tired of people asking about it by now, but I have one more about you coming back here. You said that you had talked to Coach on Monday about wanting to come back, and then I think he said that his response was he'd pray about it. Just given the dynamic at that point, I mean, what was kind of your reaction when he said that? Was it a stomach drops at that point, or was it you kind of felt like that he would eventually come around and say yes?
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of a relief because to me, it kind of took it out of my hands, or it took it out of his hands. And so when he said that, I was just kind of like, okay, I said my piece. I told him how I felt, and now if it's meant to be and it's like what God wants, then it's gonna happen. But if not, then I feel like that's what's supposed to happen too. So yeah, it was kind of a relief, and it's kind of maybe not the response I was expecting, but it was definitely a good response. So.